Almost all of Parshas Tazria is focused on the topic of tzara'as. Tzara'as is a blemish that appears on a person's skin. We're actually told that it's a possibility. It could be on a person's clothing, or it could even be, we'll see later on in next week's Parsha, on a person's wall of a person's home. But for the purposes of our Parshas Tazria, the blemish is found on a person's skin. And this individual shows the blemish to the Kohen, and the Kohen then determines as to whether it's this skin disorder of tzaras or not. Now, it's not always clear to the Kohen. And so the Kohen at times will say to the individual, look, we have to see how this blemish, this nega, this affliction, how it develops, and wait a period of 7 days. Then the person, after the period of 7 days where the person is kept aside from everyone else, and make sure that they watch the blemish and how it develops, that person comes back to the Kohen and they're told to wait another 7 days after the Kohen sees it again. Finally, after all that time, the Kohen looks at it and determines, has it turned, has it changed color? And there are many details that the Torah goes into that the Kohen has to take into account to make that determination. Ultimately, if the Kohen decides that it is tzaras, he'll quarantine the individual until their skin clears up. If it's not, then the individual is able to go back to the regular life, and they no longer have to be separate from everyone else. It's interesting to note that the Torah obligates the Kohen to wait this period of 7 days, and then again 7 days. Why 7 days? What's the significance of these, as we say, Shivas Yomim, these 7 days? So the Sifsei Tzaddik explains that the reason for the 7 days is that in order for a Shabbos, for a Sabbath to pass by, that if a Shabbos passes over, meaning if this person is separated over a period of a Shabbos, there is a possibility that through the power of Shabbos, this nega, this affliction, will end up turning and becoming a normal plain blemish that goes away on its own and not tzaras. How is that so? How could that simply happen? And so the Sifsei Tzaddik explains that our mitzvah, our great opportunity on Shabbos, is what we call Oneg Shabbos. Oneg Shabbos is our enjoyment of Shabbos. What it is that we take enjoyment in. What it is that we do when we sit around our tables and we eat special food and we sing songs and we spend time with our families and we learn Divrei Torah and we sleep and we enjoy we enjoy the Shabbos. He says Oneg has the ability to change a nega. And he says the reason for that is that the letters from Oneg and Nega are interchangeable. Nega is spelled Nun Gimel Ayin. If you take those letters and you turn them around, you get the word Oneg, Ayin Nun Gimel. Nega, affliction, could become Oneg, enjoyment. And that's something that a person has the ability to do through the holiness, through the sanctity, through the enjoyment of Shabbos. Deep inside, we all have that spark of holiness that's able to come out on the special, unique day of Shabbos. And the lesson that we learn is that even though we no longer have, thank God, this skin disorder of tzaras among us, nevertheless, we all have a sense of nega, we have a sense of affliction, that there are some things during the week that bother us, that have taken control of us, that have caused us pain or struggle, or somehow we've been challenged far beyond what we expected during the week. It's a nega, it's an affliction. But when Shabbos comes, we have the opportunity, if we treat Shabbos right, if we enjoy Shabbos, if we celebrate it the right way, we have the opportunity to turn a nega into an oneg, to turn an affliction, the affliction of the past week, into an oneg, the enjoyment of Shabbos. And hopefully by doing so, the oneg that we enjoy on Shabbos will protect us from any potential harm, any potential nega of the following week. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.